Hi, my name is Peter. Welcome back to the channel. And in this 3-video series, we've been looking to how to choose the right property to invest our money in when it comes to buy-to-let investments. In the first video, we covered the first 2 rules, which were basically the capacity. So how big of a house to buy. We said 3-bed house. Then we said the second rule to be in a city, so we want to buy in a place which is with at least 100,000 population. We don't want to buy somewhere in the sticks. We said the third one, it's the capital appreciation. So we want to make sure where we're buying, it has a good school, has a good transport link network, has a good shop. Which all these factors basically will mean over the long term, that property will go in line with the national average, which, if you don't remember, was 7.9% for the past 90 years. Okay, and we said the fourth rule was the cash flow. So we want to have a cash flowing property, positively cash flowing, and we're even stricter on that. So you could go to the previous video to see exactly what's our criteria when it comes to cash flow. Now in this video, we're going to cover the last 2. Okay, they're last 2, but they're also as important. Some of them are actually even one of the most important one we're going to cover. Now, the fifth rule we have, the 5th C, which we follow, is to make sure there is a demand. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but like, why you've left that for the end? Well, we want to obviously make sure we're buying the right property in the right place that is gonna be cash flowing positively, and it's gonna go up in value through the years. But if there is no rental demand in that area, house is gonna stay empty. So defeating the point. So how do we check if there is demand? Well, there are a few ways you could do that. You could just go on Rightmove, Zoopla, and so on. You could search for 3-bed houses to rent in the area you're looking. Okay, on Rightmove there is a filter that you could basically turn on the properties that are already agreed, so meaning the property has been for rent and now there is let agreed. So let's say if you see there are 20 houses that have been on the market in your area, and then let's say 10 of them are already let agreed. Bear in mind, they take them off pretty quickly. So that will show some pretty decent demand. If you see there 40 properties and only 10 of them are let agreed, that means probably not the highest demand. Okay, so you need to do more checks there. But that's something just to give you a feel for the area. How is the rental demand? To be honest, from what I've seen across the country recently, especially in the last 1 year, rental demand, unfortunately, fortunately for the people that invest in buy-to-lets, and unfortunately for the people that have to rent, rental demand is through the roof. It's absolutely crazy, and people struggle to get property to live in, even if they have the money. It's no good. It's no good. But that's the situation. So if you're someone that is actually investing in the buy-to-lets, you're in a good position in most areas of the country. Okay, but make sure, so you could create a dummy ad. So what we do create dummy ads and see how many responses we get. So our rule, it's once we create a dummy ad for an area, we need to get 10 responses within a week. Okay, normally that happens between the first day, to be honest. Currently it's crazy, but we want to have 10 people interested in our property within the first week of posting that. Okay, that shows decent demand there. Okay, if you have 10 responses in the first 2 hours, as we happen to have in some areas, then you know you're gonna rent your house out pretty quickly. So it's nothing to worry about. Now, that was the 5th one. And the 6th one, so the final rule, the final thing we want to make sure we have in place before we put our money into a property, is contingency. Yeah, so it's not fancy. That's a bit like paying your tax. You have to have contingency. You can't afford pick up the right area, the right house with good school, loads of rental demand, big rents, so good cash flow, and put all your money and not having anything on the side in just in case things go wrong. Like, you have to have contingency, same as in your personal life. You cannot be living just paycheck to paycheck with having nothing on the side. It's just blows my mind why people do that. So please, so in our rule is to have 4%. So if the purchase price of the house is, let's say, 100,000, our rule is after all expenses, we have in a basically emergency pot, we got 4,000. So 4% of the purchase price sitting there. We can't touch that. This is there for rainy days. What if the boiler breaks? Well, you might have just bought the property and the boiler was new. What if someone smashes your windows? What if the roof goes bad? There's so many things that could go wrong. I'm not saying they will, they rarely do, but at some point they will. And if you don't have the money, you could be in a situation where you're forced to basically either sell, which would be really bad because it still takes time, you take losses, or you might need to go and ask, what we're gonna ask your family for money, or borrow money on some high interest. Either way, it's not a good business. So please make sure you have contingency, okay? So these are the 6 rules. If you've not watched the previous 2 videos, go watch them. They're just behind. So just to recap quickly, we got the 6 rules. The first one, it's the capacity of the house to be 3 beds. Second one, to be in a city. Third one, we want basically to have good capital growth, so we make sure it's in the right location in terms of school, roads, shops, just a good area overall. Not posh, it doesn't need to be posh. Remember, it's not you living there. We want to be cash flowing positively, okay? We want to have a good rental demand, so once we post a dummy ad, we want to have at least 10 replies in the first week, and definitely 4% contingency in a rainy day fund too, okay? I hope that's been useful. For more content, obviously, just follow the channel. If you've not watched the previous videos, make sure you do that, and I see you in the next video.